beautiful viewers. We are so excited. I had to put on my John Lennon glasses, and I want to say welcome to all of you with our beautiful episode on the Author Journey Show. We celebrate courageous authors that is coming to tell us about their transformative stories. They share their brilliance and their wisdom with us. So today we are so excited to have beautiful Nikki here. I'm so sorry. To have beautiful Teri Lynn here and her book Unapologetically Me, and I love it. I took time to read through the book, and I will be doing some reviews for you as well. So I wanted to ask, give this statement. The moment you stop apologizing for who you are and begin to remember who you meant to be, that is a magic moment. So I am going to ask beautiful Teri Lynn to please introduce herself, tell us where is she from, and tell us about your cover of your book.
The cover only? Is that what you mean?
Well, no, yeah, the cover of your book. Why did you decide on the cover of your book?
Okay. So, yeah, I'm Teri Lynn, and I reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been in Phoenix for quite a while. And I am a certified sign language interpreter, nationally certified. I've been doing that for a very long time. And I'm pretty semi-retired from that career. And I'm also a certified holistic health coach with the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. And my niche is in holistic detoxification. So I currently am at the corporate level with Masterpiece, your sponsor. So I'm in one of the execs there. I've been with them since before they opened their doors, actually. I am the chief communications and wellness officer there. And that takes most of my time. So I have pretty much retired my other career, and I am full-time doing consulting and just work for the company. My book was finished published in 2020. But it took me 3 years to write that book. And it took me probably a good 6 months to, get it published and get the cover done and hire the graphic artists and all that. So that was a cathartic process for me, as you probably noticed when you read it. So that was done during a very large life transformation. I was going through all kinds of stuff and things that I couldn't even put in the book. It wasn't time to say those things. So it took me a while because I was dealing with so many other transitions in life, and I had to put it down for months at a time because it was a lot of processing. I was also checking on some facts, and I was just writing intuitively, writing when I felt that I wanted to and could. So, and I wanted the book to be right. And I knew I had a book in me for years and years and years. And I just wanted it to do it right. And so it took me a very long time to get it done. But it was part of the process of just putting things behind, getting things on paper, really also a book for my family. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I have a couple sisters, and I wanted them to understand my perspective on our situation growing up, and any who wanted to. And so sales were not one of my goals, of my book. I haven't marketed it. It's on my website, but I haven't even made back in sales what I put into it, as far as the expenses. So hopefully that will change a bit here. But my book is out to help people. Mostly women that are in situations like I was, a lot of those situations out there. So.
Thank you. Your book cover is beautiful, and thank you also for all the words. I know it, writing your heart and your memoirs in a book, it's sometimes not easy, and you have to go through a lot of things as well. So I'm going to give it over to Natalie. So Natalie, please introduce yourself, and then you are welcome to ask your first question, my beautiful one.
Wow. Nikki, wonderful to have you here. Inspired already. So I am Natalie Chilton. I am an author of Unsilenced, Use Your Voice for Power from Alberta, Canada. And mine is a freedom legacy that I'm building. So health freedom, freedom, forgiveness freedom, and human freedom. So working with Pakistan on a sewing project to bring freedom to women over there and to make freedom sheets. So it's all about freedom today. And I'm going to go right into my first question, Nikki. So sorry, I'm going back between Teri Lynn and Nikki. I'm sorry. How would you like to be addressed?
So for these purposes, Teri Lynn, do you want me to explain why the Nikki is coming in? Or are we just
Actually,
cut
no.
that out? Let's just cut that out
It's
then.
okay. Thank you, though. Thank you. So unapologetically me, the BITCH in my pocket, because YouTube doesn't like to hear that word. Your book, I wrote it down. Your book, I would say, is a deep dive on what we're seeing today as too common in families. Dysfunction, where words are weaponized, and where sexuality is twisted. So we're going to start light. I'm going to start light. Your sister, Vicky, was a very positive force in your life that I gleaned. Do you believe in divine providence and how different your life would have been without her presence? If you could just tell us a little bit about your thoughts.
Divine providence. Yeah, maybe on some level, I do. Nobody knows. Some think they know. I just don't think any of us really know. And maybe the experience is different for each of us, depending on what our belief systems are. But what I would have done without Vicky, I've never even thought of that. Honestly, I've never thought of that question. I have no idea. My life would be totally different. And maybe I would have been the target, the more of the target, let's say. So, yeah.
Yes, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of discussing your book in this way, because three brains are better than one or broader than one. So I'm going to hand it back to you, Sinette, for your next question.
Wow, thank you. So my name is Sanette from Madar, and I'm your voice amplifier. I create space and stages for millions of people around the world to share their wisdom, their brilliance, and their transformative stories on all my platforms. And through all of these experiences, we create a ripple effect of joy, love, and happiness. So my beautiful sponsor, Matthew and team, and a beautiful masterpiece, we want to say thank you for being our sponsor. We're going to play your video, and then Natalie is going to quickly tell us about Masterpiece. Here we go.
Filled with toxins in our air, water, and food, and cause you to feel off. Masterpiece cleanses these toxins out. Its natural blend of volcanic minerals removes the toxins and supports better sleep, focus, and energy.
It's compatible with your internal environment in which it goes. So you take 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
It's clinically proven and has thousands of testimonials. Try it today.
Masterpiece. I love it. I love this, and I love you. Thank you for being our sponsor. I first heard Dr. Robert Young in A Warrior Calls way back, and Dr. Robert Young is author of The pH Miracle. And what's so special about Masterpiece, just in a little snippet, would be that heavy metals actually occupy, a lot of people might not know this, actually occupy the cell receptors where minerals are meant to inhabit, occupy. And so what Masterpiece does is it goes in and cleans out the junk and allows the minerals to just camp where they're meant to in the receptors, where you can glean the mineralization from them and all the other benefits. So that's my little take. Thank you so much.
100% accurate. Good description.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teri Lynn. So, my beautiful Teri Lynn, I wanted to ask you this question, and it's almost like reclaiming your identity. Was there a specific moment when you realized you no longer wanted to live according to other people's expectation and choose to become apologetic. Sorry, I have practiced before the show. Unapologetically yourself.
Yes. Yeah, it was probably just prior to writing the book, which would have been around maybe 2016, 2017-ish. I was, again, going through a huge transition. I was actually leaving a high control religion that I had been in for 30 years and just coming out with that information now. That's why it's not in the book. I wasn't able to talk about it. And so I was also had been divorced for maybe 5 years. We were separated for, at that time, more than that. But well, we were actually only divorced for a few years, but separated for quite a while. And so it was moving on from that totally 100%. And issues with my dad, I think, had settled where I knew I wasn't going to see him again. That had been a few years, which is recounted in that book. And I just needed to have a fresh new start on so many levels. And I felt like I couldn't do that until I just cathartically wrote it all down. You know, there's something in writing, and actually writing, when you write with it, which I didn't do for most of the book, you know, by far. I did a small percentage of the book write with my hand. I was at work and I got this idea and I wrote it down. There's something about writing with your hand to be able to process emotions and also memory and all that those things. But also, even if you type your story down, there is something special about that. It feels like a release. It feels like it's you're putting it away. And if you can help others, if it's a story, you know, such as mine, then you feel like you're not just helping yourself, but you're helping others too. So it was right in that time period where I had to take a few years. So 3 years of the writing and probably 2 years more. I had a good 5 years where it was a huge transitional time where I really reclaimed, I think, who I was, because I didn't really know. It was dictated to me my whole life.
Well, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And you notice myself and Natalie have put glasses on, sunglasses, because you gave us goosebumps. And I know the viewers out there on E360 TV land have also put their glasses on. So thank you, my beautiful Teri Lynn. My beautiful Natalie, your question?
Thank you. Yeah, well described, Teri Lynn. As an author, I can relate to what you say, and you're able to speak so lucidly about things at this moment. And I know that would probably be a huge contrast to how it was before, because after you write a book, it really allows an order to be established that wasn't there before. But I have a fun question about, kind of fun. Your mom normalized the visitation of counselors, of getting counseling, and what a gift that was. I could, like, if that had been for me. So thank goodness for that for you. I think that's amazing. And what is the most satisfying part of telling the truth, like you have been able to in Unapologetically Me? What's the most satisfying part of telling the truth for you?
It's what I'm all about, honestly, and I don't know how to do it any other way. And so if I feel like I'm being stifled in any way, it feels like something inside me is stuck. And so, you know, maybe your audience is familiar with the chakra system, and you have a throat chakra, and when you can't speak your truth, that could be a blocked chakra, or you could block it because of that decision, perhaps. You know, I'm not an expert, but there's just something very freeing about it, of just saying what is. And it's not about getting anyone upset with you. It's not about revenge. It's not about any of that, but what's the truth? At least what's my truth? You know, I need to be able to speak what my truth is. And it's just a freeing feeling. As long as it's with love. You know, before you say anything, you have to ask yourself a few questions. Is it kind? Is it necessary? Is it coming from a place of love? My book is a place of love for me. That was for me. And so whatever that meant for anyone else that their name happened to be in the book, I'm sorry, but that was for me. And so my mom has not read my book. She won't read my book. I think she read like the dedication only, because she can't hear it. She can't see it. And so I did it for me, whether anyone read it or not, especially my dad is going to read it. So it's as if you're putting it out to the universe. It's as if it's out there. Here are my words. Here's my truth. I'm giving it to God, so to speak, or just giving it away. And this is it. I'm done. And maybe that's not the process with everybody, but it sure worked for me. And I'm glad I went through that process.
Mm-hmm. So well said. That's beautiful. It's like what I'm getting is like, it's a biofeedback. So when you do it for you and you do it with love, we're like a fountain. This is something I repeat. And like the tide, what flows through us when you do it with love, your trauma isn't traumatizing people. That book was not traumatizing me. And it is a healing book, and that is evident. So thank you for your thoughtful question. And Sanette, I shall turn it back to you for your next question.
Thank you, my beautiful Natalie. So, my beautiful Teri Lynn, I wanted to ask if you have a message for survivors. So, my question for you, what would you say to somebody who still feels trapped by their past and struggle to believe they deserve joy, peace, and self-love?
It's a day by day thing sometimes, but you just have to find it. You have to keep digging. Everyone's different. I tend to be very motivational for women, I've been told, and it's more about your actions. At least for me, they see what you do, they see how you interact, and just your whole demeanor, how it is, and it's like I don't have to say a whole lot, but what I do say tends to be coming from the right place because I'm in the right place, and so my best advice is to seek out mentors. I've sought out mentors my whole life. Other women, men, professionals, whoever works for you. And we need each other. We're not an island, and we can't isolate ourselves and expect to do our very best in life. Sunglasses are out. Yes. So we got to find our people, and those people are going to change over our journey, and then also be willing to help others. And so that's, you're giving, you're taking, right? You're giving and you're taking. And so that's what it's about.
I love that. I love it. I'm so sorry, Natalie. I have to do a follow-up question. I promise you can have 2 questions after this. But I really wanted you have given for the survivors such a beautiful message. But I wanted to ask you, what will be the reader's impact? So what do you hope readers carry with them long after they finish your pages of your book?
Well, first, I want to thank Natalie for her feedback that it wasn't traumatizing. Thank you. I've only had a few people outside of my family give me some feedback, and so I appreciate that. What do I want readers? Can you say that again? To take away from?
Yeah, what do you hope readers carry with them long after they finish the last page of your book? So can I just tell you what will be for me, and then you are welcome. There's hope, and not only hope. Anything is possible. I do believe if you put yourself first, and not in a selfish way, but in a nurturing, self-love way, anything is possible. But that was just for me. So what would it be for you, my beautiful Teri?
So a lot of times my message, especially to women, is taking care of yourself is not selfish. You're actually, and when you go on an airplane, they say put the mask on yourself first and then you assist others. You're no good if you can't function at your highest level. So my best gift to the world is taking care of myself. And if I've had a situation growing up that's worse than others, there's a lot of terrible situations, lot worse than me. And I totally understand and agree with that. But at the same time, I just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
What you are hoping
Well,
others will take with them.
Well, let me just say it this way. So courage and to never stop. You know, you just have to keep going and find what works for you. My way that I wrote about in the book may not be your way, but I just keep fighting. I just keep going. Just keep going. And believe me, and I don't know, maybe I didn't make that very clear in the book, but I've had days where it just, my goodness, you know, I didn't think I could. And there's hope.
So from my side, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your courage and strength to put all your words in this amazing book of yours. My beautiful Natalie.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much grit in your story. And, you know, I always think of a movie, a grit in a good way. So integrity. When you're writing a movie script, it's like your character, you in your story, is very persevering and righteous. There's a righteousness about you that's really kick-ass that I respect. Okay, so here's my
We can swear. That's
what?
cool.
No,
No,
No.
ass, baby. Okay, I like that. Which is why I read the whole book. I didn't want you to kick my ass if you found out I didn't know. Okay. So I see you as a highly observant kid in your book, probably because you had to be.
Yeah.
Now, do you find yourself being protective of others who are not being loved or heard as you wanted to be? Or have you directed your energy into feeding your own soul and life versus an outward protection? So just curious of where you are with that.
Those are two different questions, right? Two totally different. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the way I operate is I try to teach anyone who's willing to hear how to fish rather than giving them a fish. Like that's always kind of how I've just known things are best. And so I'm not the most nurturing. I'm not the most, out there protective. But, if I hadn't been embroiled with all the things that I was in my young adult life, I would have been saving trees. I would have been saving animals. Like that's like my thing. If I had not been involved with this religion, this high control religion I was in, I would have been trying to save those that are less fortunate and usually of nature, animals and trees and those things. But I just try to empower, and I can't empower, but I try to know that you can be empowered, teach that lesson, mostly just through my existence. And yeah. Oh, glasses again.
Yeah.
Because we're giving off an energy, we're giving off a frequency, and that is what is most powerful. I kind of wait until situations come to me, and then of course, I can't stand any kind of abuse, and I'm always it's quite traumatizing to see what's happening in the world today, and now that things are so easily found out of what's happening because we have the internet and we have cameras everywhere and all that, I realize like my story is just so mild compared to what is really going on. And who am I to write about this? But at the same time, I didn't know that. And to me, it was extremely traumatizing. And I just put it all out there. I was like, all right, I'm putting myself out there and I'm putting everyone else out there too. And I was kinder. I could have been, I was still selective, but it's just, are we going to just accept what is and who we are and just move on and apologize where we need to and then just keep getting better? Isn't that what we want to do? Don't we want to, isn't that what this is all about? And not hiding under the covers and, staying in our little safe spaces. That's just not what I'm about. So I'm here for people that are ready to move on, ready for change. And that's where I shine best, I think, when those that are ready.
Yeah, I would agree. It's like it's almost like I see a mountain and I see climbing the mountain, and when you put the spike into the rock and you're going up. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I see you. It's like the pit is down there. You're climbing now, and that gives me shivers. So thank you for your description, your explanation, and Miss Sinette. Is
May I
it your
add
turn
one?
now, or I kind of got lost there?
May I add one thing to that, Natalie?
Yes.
May I
Of
add
course.
that? Because I have something that can piggyback off that really nicely. Is I get this extremely positive feeling when I'm able to overcome anything. I'll give you just an example that's not to do with trauma. I have this piece of property that's 40 acres of nothingness, and I was trying to develop it out a little bit, and I had brought up in my big SUV this tent and all these supplies. I'm by myself, and I'm just going to do this thing. And I set up that tent, which is not a one-person job. I set up this tent, this big 4-person or 8-person, whatever it was, tent, little shower in the back and just a little like table and everything. And it took me all day, and it rained a little, and I swore like a sailor, a couple times, screaming, and I was so mad. And when I left and I looked at everything, and like the next day I stayed overnight, and I got probably a little weepy, I don't remember, but I just got this feeling of satisfaction. And I did that. And I couldn't have done that unless I just kept going. And through all of the challenges and just, okay, we're just going to take baby steps and keep going and keep going and keep going. And there is nothing that you can buy that will give you that feeling. So I love those glasses. So I guess I'm glad you kept asking it, because that is it right there. I can't give you that. You can't buy that. You can't get that by sitting on the couch. You can't get there until you keep trying hard a lot of times, whatever your challenges are. And then you get there, and then it's like whoosh, this whole whoosh of, oh,
Right?
I did that. That is what keeps me going, and that's what can keep everyone else going, because that's what it's all about, I think.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. As a self-reflection, I look back at the hardest things in my story, and like just the lowest, hardest things. And that gives me the most satisfaction. It was like, I was there and I'm here now.
You're here
Like,
now.
I hardly recognize that person. And the satisfaction where once I was so sad and I was a victim and all that, none of it. I just feel like, yes.
Yep. There is a chemical change in your body that you cannot buy. That's why people go to the gym and they run, do all these things. It's a similar feeling. But yeah, you have to earn that. And I want that over anything else, because I've never felt, except for love for my child, for my son, but I've never felt anything like that before. And it's the best ever.
Awesome.
I exactly know what you are saying, because I see I have done now 759 coffee chats in 4 years, in 6 months. And when I tell people how awesome they are, you can see, they don't believe it. But when we are in a show, the power hour, or they do something and I realize, but wow, I am amazing. And I see that aha moment in their body language, then that, my beautiful Teri, is my cherry on my cake, because I have witnessed now how people experience their own brilliance. So that's for me beautiful.
Yeah.
So before we're going on with your next question, we're going to play our beautiful video of our sponsor, Masterpiece. And then, Teri, I would love to ask you if you want to share something on Masterpiece for us. Will it be okay with you, Natalie?
Yes,
So
it
here
is.
we go. Thank you, my beautiful Masterpiece, and Matthew and team. Here we go.
Is filled with toxins in our air, water, and food, and cause you to feel off. Masterpiece cleanses these toxins out. Its natural blend of volcanic minerals removes the toxins and supports better sleep, focus, and energy.
It's compatible with your internal environment in which it goes. So you take 5 drops under the tongue twice a day.
It's clinically proven and has thousands of testimonials. Try it today.
So my beautiful viewers, we're going to have Nikki on the spotlight. And then Nikki, as soon as you finish with telling us a little bit about Masterpiece, my beautiful Natalie, and I will be with you again. Just give me 1 second.
So Masterpiece is a colloidal system of nano-sized zeolite. It's clinoptilolite natural zeolite, and it's a patent pending process. So our process is very different in the sense that when you compare it to other nanozeolite liquids and products, we've looked at them. We've looked them under the microscope, and we've reverse engineered them. And the process that they use would more than likely damage at least some of the cages, because zeolite is a cage structure, and that's where the power is. That's where the surface area is. And so our formula does not do that. And we have another breakthrough, which is the sea plasma, marine plasma or sea plasma, which adheres to the zeolite particles, because we're talking about electrical charges. And so when it enters the body takes the minerals in right away. It's like, oh yeah, we understand this. We understand what, sea plasma is, and it matches my own blood plasma. But the zeolite's the payload, and it's right there, and it's able to grab on to positively charged particles, which could be toxic metals, plastics, forever chemicals, glyphosate. We've tested all of these things, and all of those things will go down drastically in the body with the method of testing that we've done. So it's kind of a no-brainer. We're all transfected with all of these things, and it's a simple process of a few drops a day, and it doesn't taste bad, and it's like hitting the "that was easy" button as far as we're concerned.
Wow, beautiful. I just saw here at the back, beautiful Natalie and myself were smiling when you were talking. So thank you, my beautiful Teri. So my next question will be, if you look back at your younger self, what will be the advice you would have loved to have given your younger self?
You're okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah.
That's
perfect.
That's beautiful.
That is perfect.
Thank you.
That would have changed my life.
No, you brought tears to my eyes, because that was profound. Thank you. My beautiful Natalie.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. I felt that too. Yeah. And, for the viewer out there, even if just where you are right now, you are okay too. And your divine identity, it never dissolves. It is there. It's just a matter of returning to yourself. So trust that, and you'll get there. You'll get there. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going, as Teri Lynn. Yeah, thank you. And I'm so happy. This next question is a big one.
Okay.
Are you ready for a big kind of key issue in your book, because it needs to be said?
Yeah.
I also, in my family, have creatures such as these who do these things.
Well, I just lost her sound.
Yes, Natalie, you just muted, but you are welcome to start again.
Okay.
I have creatures such as these is where afterwards.
Yes. How did it feel for you to say clearly in your book, my dad is a pedophile? And I'm going to elaborate just a tiny bit here for the listener before you answer. So in the book, classic manipulator, narcissist, inability to be honest. This is just kind of across the board kind of qualities. When people are in this darkness. Yeah. So that was big.
Yeah. I think that, it wasn't something that I was too clammed up or ashamed about prior, but to say it like that I did in the book, it was a statement that I'm not holding any secret for you. I'm not going to pretend that you did not hurt me. And so everyone else that you hurt. And so it's just the truth. And so, yeah, it was, again, that freeing feeling of, I'm not carrying this anymore.
Yeah.
That's huge for kids to carry. That's absolutely life damaging stuff. There is no crime worse than doing that other than murder.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I'm getting feedback here, but I have to say that you were so fair as a soul in your communication, just in the balanced perspective that both the antagonists, the protagonists, the different characters, players, we all have players in our life. And, almost every family has the alcoholic, has the pedophile.
Yeah, there's something
Has
usually.
the saint and the scapegoat. You were the scapegoat.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for saying it was fair, because as I grow, and I think that mercy and forgiveness is always on the table. And I tried to extend that as much as I could. And because it would have mattered. It would have mattered to me, and it would have mattered to him, And so, there becomes a time, though, where you just have to cut it off. And that's what ended up in volition, But I don't know what else to say about it. I just think grace is important if you can give it.
Thank you for that, my beautiful Teri. I remember when 7 years ago, I changed my life forever. And the one thing I needed to do, I did the forgiveness to the people that have done stuff to me when I was young, but I never forgave myself. And I remember the psychologist asked me, but did you ever forgive yourself? And I was very upset with this man. I just storm out of his office and I get into my car and slam my door and slam my elbow. And then I started to cry. It took me 45 minutes while I put down the visor of my, where the mirror is. And then I realized for so many years, I asked myself, why didn't you go and tell somebody? But that day, I remember that the blackmail for a child was so heavy and so strong that I would never have spoken up in any way. So I had to forgive myself. And that day, Teri, my life changed. I cannot even tell you. I do believe I let go of more weight that specific day than I have done. I have let go of a whole person in weight, but that day changed. I changed a lot of things, but that day, that forgiveness changed everything for me. So thank you so much for that. My question to you, was there a person, a mentor, or a friend that was your light during your healing journey?
I think there were many. I can't think of one in particular. I think that my son, even though he wasn't involved in my process intimately, he was the thing the person, the thing that kept me going. And I think any mother would understand that. And I think I had along my path people just put there at the right time. And maybe I missed a few, but opportunities. But I'm pretty self-sufficient, honestly. And so I think my process, what it did was it connected me to my higher self more. And because I already know all the answers. It's everything, the comfort's there, everything's there. And, I rely on that pretty much, because that's what I can trust the most. And so I'm still on the journey, getting in touch with that more and more. But yeah, nobody in particular, honestly. Like, I wish I could say this great story about this one person, but honestly, it just isn't there. It was just me that made everything happen, and just using everything that was put at my disposal, which is a million things probably. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And then I just quickly want to let you all know, my beautiful viewers, down below in the show note, you will get Teri Lynn's elevator pitch. You will have a link to her website is beautiful. Go and check it out. And also a link to buy her book. You will also have a notification from beautiful Natalie and her book, and my details and my book, and then also a beautiful paragraph on our beautiful sponsor. So please do your fingers, do the walking down below in the show notes. So my beautiful Natalie, your next question.
I can't believe how eager I am with my questions. I'm going to ask a fun one.
Cool.
Okay. So, the BITCH in your pocket.
Yeah.
I love that. And your raw, your little humor in your book. It's really, lightens it. So when did the mama bear awaken? I think you might have alluded to that, but there was a moment. There was a moment when you noticed.
I'm interested to know what your feedback is on that, because that's always been very strong in me. From the day that, I was in the hospital after my son was born, so I don't think there was a moment that the moment was when I talked about in my book, when I brought him home, and I hadn't bonded yet. At least I thought I did. But then once I did that, I'm like, oh, that was it. That's what women talk about. That's the oxytocin, and that was, maybe he was a week old, but it was pretty strong the whole time. Yeah. Unless you're alluding to something else.
I
No,
cannot
that's okay.
remember the little ones, the little boy that you have put together and say how you stop bullying my child. What was the boy name? I cannot remember his name.
Angel. His name was
Yes,
Angel.
yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh, hell no. No, not my boy. Hell no. Yeah. As you got older, and as, it happens when they get out in the world more and more, and they get bullied, or they, things happen. That's when it came out more, is I think what it is. And I always had it, like you said, that the ITCH right there. I'm like, it's ready to go, and just don't, because it's right there. It's at the ready. And so, and it's still there.
You're packing.
I'm packing, but I don't have to bring it out very often because I have more skill sets. But no, I think I'm pretty discerning. And when I used it in those places in the book, it was very effective. And hell to the no, was anyone going to do that to my kid? And no way.
Love it.
Oh, it makes me sick. To think, these things that could happen. And how I wasn't protected. So many things happened to me. And and maybe that's part of it too, is that where was my protector? The nowhere. And so when I was raising my own child, I would get these protective feelings, and then I would feel bad. And then I'd realize, oh, this is what should have happened in my benefit, and didn't ever, I don't think, happen. And so I was happy to be able to protect my own offspring in the way that I would have liked to have been protected. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. There's that working out of the justice that I was kind of digging for earlier, and I hadn't really realized. So thank you. That is awesome. I needed more of that myself as a young, disempowered mother. So good for you. Good for you. And good for your son to have you capable of confronting and addressing, because I think that's really missing in a lot of people.
Or confronting in the wrong way, making things worse. That wasn't my aim. So yeah, I look back on some of those instances that I highlight in the book, and I just, the memories just make me smile. I'm just like, damn girl, you did it. You really did it. So makes me laugh.
That's good. That's really, really good. Miss Sinette, is it your turn? Are we wrapping it up?
Yeah, almost up. I can have one more question. I did love I think you have done a few, because every time I say goodbye to everybody, everyone. So I also saw your, I loved it. I wanted to ask you a future vision question, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there another book inside you waiting to be written? And what excited projects are you currently working on?
What exciting projects? Is that what you said?
Yeah, are you
So
currently working on? Yeah.
I had intended to write a second book that was going to fill in empty spaces that you didn't realize when you read Unapologetically Me, because I wrote it that way. But I don't know if I'm going to, but it was about this whole piece starting when I was 18 years old through this high control religion that I was in, that if you put the second book with the first book, it would explain some of the first book. Why did I stay so long in a second marriage? Just all of these things, these pieces, and why, just how I made certain decisions. But that's a lot of work. So I'm not sure. I have started speaking out. Just as of yesterday was my first public interview about this experience that I had. So this is like the week of Teri, I guess. But so I think I'd rather do it that way, because it's time, it's just a lot of time. But as far as, I love it, future projects, or what I'm working on, what I'm working on now, I think you asked me. Well, I'm really heavily into Masterpiece right now and supporting the company. I'm always on the lookout, not on lookout. I'm always geared up and ready to support my own branding, live true. Holistic detoxification, I have kind of put that to the side, because of Masterpiece. So I have developed my own product, and it's now in the Masterpiece line. It's Master Nutrition. That's product. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to market that and get that out to the world. It's a phytoplankton product that I specifically put together in certain strains and amounts. So it's pretty fantastic. So that's been taking up my future. Future projects, I like to travel. And so now that I'm working from home, with Masterpiece, I think I'm really looking into getting out there more, getting into events and meeting people, and just trying to get out there a little bit more, which is usually not my forte. So we'll see how that goes.
And you also, because you have joined the Diamond Beauties, you are welcome to post in, and you are welcome to also, meet other ladies in the group that are truly spectacular. So my beautiful viewers, I have a question for you. What part of yourself are you ready to embrace, forgive, and celebrate so that you finally live unapologetically? Yes, I said it correctly. So my beautiful Teri, thank you for your courage. Thank you for giving us a way to find a little bit more about you, and how did you got all your strength and power to do what you have done. And I love the way that you explain that all the answer is inside of us. You just went into your higher self. I loved it. Your story is your legacy, and today you are amplifying hope for countless people around the world. So thank you so much, my beautiful Natalie.
I don't even know what to say. It's been such a full, I feel like I'm at a smorgasbord and I'm just done. Thank you, Teri Lynn. You're brilliant. You're beautiful, physically beautiful and soul beautiful and powerful. So thank you for being our guest.
The three best compliments you can give any woman. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity here as well. This is my first time talking about this book. It's been out for 6 years and I just have not been public with it like this. So I appreciate the opportunity and I hope that others enjoy it and can get something from it and support as well. That was my whole intention.
Beautiful. Thank you, Teri Lynn. So my beautiful viewers, we want to say, and I didn't have my rap crap at my clapper here. Just give me 1 second. Here it is. My beautiful viewers, I want to say, please go down below in the show note, go and buy Teri Lynn's book and read all about his story. And if you are ready, I am ready. Thank you for your time that you have spent with us. Thank you, my beautiful co-host. I love you, my girl. I love you. And for now, this is a wrap. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.